Medoktit mapat the government of Uganda make bedo kaluongo nying'u kany Ludirudini Ladit episcopi madit maloyo dini me katoli I otke me gulu duwodi Bishop maloyo Northern Uganda Diocese maloyo Kirgum Diocese Lutit Parumaweng and my special guest all the way from Kampala, Bishop Luere, who is the ordained prelate for the judiciary of Uganda. Ruri meke chole mapat Wundutua duchu maugore kain maumia awaga madit nimrod ruba Ladid madid president wapoyo bino padio. My younger brother said, you've honored our family 3 times in what would amount to private function. You came for my parents' last funeral rites. Traditionally, we actually, if I die now, my body would not wait for my children. I would be buried. They come from Gulu, from Kampala, they show them my grave. But the most important thing, if you want to know someone means well for you, it is the last funeral rite, traditionally. Today, now with this preservation of body, people go for burial and forget the last funeral rite. You came when we thanked God for holding your hand and making you pick me and not any other person to be the Deputy Chief Justice of Uganda, here on this ground. You were our chief guest. The predecessor of the Archbishop of Gulu Diocese was the one who presided over the Thanksgiving. Then today, as my brother said, this means a lot. I did not know behind my back they were thinking of giving you a cow. If they had told me, maybe I would have added one, but they wanted it to be theirs, so it will remain as it is. Ladid, our friends and people who are gathered here, this is a Thanksgiving function. And Thanksgiving is universal. In all African societies, I don't know about the Western world, there are 2 prayerful functions. There is the petition and then the thanksgiving. At the beginning of the rains, elders would petition, asking the supreme being. If the rains do not come, where will we put our children? You have given us children. How will we look after them? That is petitioning for sufficient yield, petitioning so that there is something to look after God's people. Then, after a good harvest, there is another function, which is the one today, to thank the Lord God for a good harvest, for good yield. Today, we are here to thank the Lord God for a good yield. At a personal level, if I had the time, I would have gone, but I'm compressing my address to you and God's people here. I've come a long way. Many people have asked me because of the tidbits people have said about me that I should write a memoir. I have accepted Your Excellency, and I hope even in retirement you'll write a sentence about the me you knew. My book, which I've not yet started writing, but whose title would tell you what to expect, is The Wheels of Destiny, because I'm a product of the wheels of destiny. I'll just say 3 things and then ask you to come to your people. I went to school late because I like looking after goats and cows. I was the one person, my father, I think I defeated him. He was very serious about education. I started late. I lost opportunity twice in primary school. Then on the 3rd occasion, I went forward and finished education. Had it not been the hand of God, we would not have been holding any Thanksgiving here in Patongo in my primary school at all. The first time I sat for P7 here in this school, I was admitted in Kololo SS because mathematics had betrayed me. In P5, we were never taught mathematics because the teacher did not know mathematics. So the attempt to make me like mathematics in P7 was not very successful. So while I was carrying 80s in English language and zero paper, mathematics was a real nemesis. Now, that year, my elder sister, who petitioned the Lord today during Mass Matina, also went to Christ the King, TTC. My father was a modest man, so he sacrificed me and said, this was what he said, girls grow too fast. If you ask her to repeat, she'll become a woman and will abandon school. So stubborn me was held back. I repeated. I passed. Passing was not a problem. This time I was admitted at St. Peter's College, Tororo, which was our family school. I attended St. Peter's College, Tororo, only one term in 1973. I left St. Peter's College in protest. I was not chased, the record is there, because one of the boys from here, a relative of mine, called Justino Kela, Justino, when he was young, he got burnt and his right foot was cut into 2. He lost the front part of the foot. So he would walk with the heel, and then when students saw him as he would go to bathe, they said he was a leper. This is something I found always difficult to speak about. He died 2 years ago. This was a leper, made life difficult for him. He chose to come back home, and when I came back home on holiday, I said, I will not go back if that is what life in secondary school is. It was not personal to me. It was about someone I knew who was suffering injustice. It was a huge problem to persuade me to continue with education. In the end, my elder brother, who has passed on, said he knows King's College Budo has a 3-year express class program. And since he knows I would hold my own, I should go to Budo, do 3 years, and compensate for time lost. It was very exciting. That is how a Catholic went to a Protestant school, something that never happened. In fact, I'm the first person from what is called Agago district to study in King's College, Budo, and a Catholic at that. Then from Budo, I went to Navmali because I made up my mind to be a lawyer. And among the people who are my classmates is one of your political assistants, David Kenneth Mafabi. In 1978, we were in senior 5. You people decided to invade us because we are in Uganda, you are coming from us. So you decided to invade us, to liberate us of Idi Amin. We decided in Navmali that if you failed in 1972, we would discontinue our studies and we'll go and join you in Tanzania so that when you come back, you don't fail. You denied us the opportunity to be military men. That is the only time I thought of joining the army. Then I went to university, completed law, and went into private practice. I am proud, and my colleagues know my record as a legal practitioner, the 23 years I practiced law. That was clean, it was purposeful, it was people-centered. I did a lot of charity. And because of that, the dear President, the chairman of Judicial Service Commission, Justice Seth Manyindo, made me a judge without interviewing me. I was in Juba in the peace process. I learned of it when my name was already in State House. And for him, he told me that he had already interviewed me for 23 years when I was practicing law before them. Then I was elected. I came to the Constituent Assembly when I was doing my legal practice. I'm giving a general account, I jump forward, I go back. In the Constituent Assembly, and I want people to know today, and I want to thank you. I've thanked God, I've said some of these, the challenges, the hurdles, in the hand of God, I would not be here standing. The wheels of destiny were in motion. They would get stuck, but they got out of the mud and propelled till now. How you identified me in 1994, towards the end, I don't know. Actually, I've never asked you. But you collected the people who had made me go to the Constituent Assembly. They went to Gulu. You talked with them. You expressed interest in me. And then when I met you, I said yes and no. The no was, I had been elected and had stood on two main issues which I thought I would take to the Constituent Assembly. One, the return of pluralism. Two, the land issue. I thought this was an opportunity to rectify the iniquities occasioned by colonial rule in this country. When we met in Gulu, in your residence in the barracks, 1995, if my memory does not fail me, it was March the 4th Saturday. We had a long discussion. You told me this, and I've never forgotten, that we do not have to agree on everything. Your appointing me minister does not mean I should abandon what the people had sent me for. It made me very easy. It made it very easy for me to serve this country for the first time at the high level of a minister of government. Then you appointed me minister in charge of northern Uganda. I want my people here to know that's when Coin issued the edict that I should be killed. I should be killed in a spectacular manner. He doesn't want to see me alive, but my killing should send a message to people who have betrayed their Acholi people by working with you. You called me to Nakasero, I don't remember the date, and told me of this risk and proposed that you were thinking of relocating me to another portfolio. I said, Ladid, no. Somebody has got to work here for peace. If God has ordained I will die at a particular time, I don't have to be in northern Uganda, I will die. Then you made security arrangement. I finished what you had assigned me to do. And then I left Parliament. Went to study peace in the United Kingdom, Bradford University. And when I came back, surprise of surprises. Coin wanted me to go and see him. The one person he wanted most, who had not gone to see him, was me. So he asked Walter Ochora, who came to me. I went, sat with Coin for 6 hours. I'm seated here, Joseph Coin directly in front of me, about 3 meters. On his right, Vincent Oti. On his left, Okoth Odiambo. Then I entered his mine, churned it. When we came back, we briefed you at State House. It was you, your PPS Amelia, Walter Ochora, myself, and Lachambel, who was for Radio Mega. You asked a simple question. Will Coin sign this agreement this time? Walter Ochora was the first person to say, this time round, Coin is going to sign this agreement. He asked Lachambel, who agreed. You asked me last, and I said it will be a pleasant surprise to me if Coin signs that agreement. Told you in State House. And you pointed at me and said, yes, we have intelligence. This man is just fooling around. And you said, since it was January coming to February before the leaves come back, you wanted to flush Coin out of Garamba. I said, no. They did no. He said, why? I said, everywhere in Acholi, everywhere in much of the world, you are the warmonger. to people you are the warmonger because you had issued ultimatum before. I said, this time round, let the truth come out. I said, what do? You were very strong, as you always are, when you were bent on something. Then this is how I persuaded you, and I want people to know. Because many times people think you are a warmonger, you are even something which you should laugh about, you'll go to war. That's what the view was here. I said, sir, can we compute how much money the government of Uganda spent between 1st of January to 30th of June 2006, when there was war still here, and then 1st of July to 31st of December, when the war had ended. Where did you spend more money? Forget even the killing and the loss of property. It worked. You agreed. I want to thank you before the people of Northern Uganda. You agreed that let us give Coin a long rope to hang himself with, because I did not believe Coin would come to sign that peace agreement when I talked with him for 6 hours. I was vindicated. In the end, one of the things that turned people now, I hear politicians say, oh, this is fine. I don't know whether this is the place to say it. People began seeing the true you. A man of peace, but again, you don't like injustice. You don't like people who cause injustice, blatant and flagrant occasioning of injustice. So more than anything else, people learn who you are. Had you gone to flush Coin out of Garamba, up to now, you would have been the warmonger. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that. Now, the judiciary. Then I will speak about life after the judiciary and call you to speak to your people. Justice Manyindo made me a judge. I was never interviewed. I don't know if there is anybody in this country who has become a judge without being interviewed. Again, that was the wheel of destiny moving. I never applied. I never lobbied. The way you appointed me minister without lobbying, the Lord lobbied for me. The Lord whispered in your mind that this one here can do something in your government, can do something for this country. Then I became Deputy Chief Justice. I never applied. I was nominated by a handful of people. The only 2 times I applied for a job was to come to Parliament and to become Chief Justice, because the rules had changed. Again, you picked me. When you picked me, August 2020, during COVID, and that's where I want the people of Uganda, you have thanked me for coming up with a different judiciary, for transforming the Ugandan judiciary. It is the President of Uganda who has transformed the judiciary of Uganda. You can thank me for being stubborn. I've been very stubborn with him, really, really stubborn. Really, really stubborn. Because when I believe in something, I'm also firm. When I took over as Chief Justice, the judiciary budget was 198, and it had been religiously 198 billion for years across several Chief Justices. The judiciary of Uganda was called the third arm of government. You listened to me, you saw my point. At times I am confrontational, But Your Excellency Ladit, those are friendly fires. You know, friendly fires we don't get annoyed about. We now stand at 450, around 450 billion judiciary budget from 198. It is because of you. And because of that, we have brought discernible transformation. We've made a difference about the operation of the judiciary. And indeed, you had promised that in 3 years, we would be at par with Parliament, 800 billion. But we understand what COVID has done. But I believe my successor will not leave office before we have clocked 800 billion, I believe. For as long as you are still president of Uganda, I can say with certitude that the judiciary will hit 800 billion mark because that is your commitment. That I can say. Now, we do not say the judiciary is the third arm of government. The judiciary is one of the 3 arms of government because now we are recognizable. You were the first to recognize that we are not a consuming institution. Our contribution to the socio-economic development, to the stability of this country is mighty, is huge, it goes deep. Now we stand as one of the 3 tripods, one of the 3 stones that holds Uganda together on our shoulders. So that I want to thank you, and I want the people to know. I hear some people say, oh, the judiciary has captured, the president or the executive has captured the judiciary. What nonsense. It is because the president of Uganda listens. It is because a stubborn Chief Justice has really ached the ears of the president of Uganda that now the judiciary is seen for what it is. That is not capture of the judiciary. That's an attribute. I leave public service in 6 months' time. Precisely 18th of January, this coming year, 2026, I will be 70 years old. I thank God. And when you look at me, many of you say I'm 60. That's how good the Lord God is. You get my age wrong. The dead president. And you people, I'm a very rich man, and I'm saying I am a very wealthy man. I always see you talk about so-and-so is wealthy, so-and-so is wealthy, and you leave me out when I'm one of the wealthiest Ugandans. From today, begin including me among wealthy Ugandans. The dear President, my wealth is not materialistic. My wealth is not fat bank account. I have one bank account only. No, 2. The other one is almost dead. I don't have properties dotted everywhere. I don't have land dotted everywhere. But my wealth is God's people. If you doubt, look at all these people. Look at these people who are sitting. Look at them. That's where my wealth lies. That is where my wealth lies. And that's where the Lord God has been so good to me. And my vow in my retirement is to come back home and on foot work with these people who love me so much, who have made me so wealthy, to change their life, to pick them from the abyss where they are, because you both repeatedly say Acholi sub-region is the second last or number 2 in poverty ranking after Karamoja. The last one, we have now overtaken Karamoja. We are now the most poverty-stricken sub-region, a very rich sub-region in terms of resources, in terms of what God has given. We went through the war. Yes, we know the cause of why we are poverty-stricken. 1985, Agago County, then it is now a district, had 53,000 head of cattle. Ours was a agro-pastoralist society. The backbone of our society was livestock. And then our food security lay in agriculture. In 1990, the next census, the livestock census, here. From 53,000, the count was 400 head of cattle, 400. That is the level to which the backbone of the people of this area had been crushed, had been broken. We have in place a revival movement called Rachopado, a very popular movement with the Acholi people because we speak what they see. It is non-political. My brother Ambassador Olaro Tuno and I have been favored to head that movement. We are going to ask you, Ladit, do business with Rachopado. We believe we can turn around what is happening here. Do business with Rachopado, that movement. So much, you have sent so much in this place since the war ended. You've sent so much. There is nothing to show for it. We want to be in the thick. We want to be part of the service delivery by mobilizing the people to accept to be part of development programs that come to this area. We have our resolution in the last meeting, in the annual convention, was the promotion of perennial crops. And we picked on coffee. And I know your view about coffee. It matches mine. Promotion of coffee growing at household levels. And that's what we are promoting. My quarrel is there are people who are excited who think you can disburse seedlings without training people. We have stood firm. Let us train people. Ladid President, support us in being firm that people are trained on these new crops. In 5 years, actually sub-region will be different. I'm very clear in my mind about this. We will come to you as Rachopado to speak about these things, to speak about how we can make a difference. Because for me, when I come to you, I'm not preaching. I'm just adding value to your thinking. You're adding value to my thinking. We will come to you, and we want to be it sooner than later. We proved here that mechanization can be done even at the household level. You don't have to acquire a huge chunk of land. The debate was between mass production and production by the masses. I believe in production by the masses. You open up, you mechanize on their own land, and they are the beneficiaries. So we'll come and speak. We don't have time. I would have spoken at great length about this, but please give us an opportunity to meet you and we speak about these things. How we can use a radical approach to make an impact in this place. radical approach on service delivery. Finally, I have a group, Your Excellency, beneficiaries of the PDM program, young boys. Instead of going to drink, instead of going to waste themselves away, they came out with something quite interesting. Where is there's a portrait they drew? Where is it? There's a portrait of the president I saw. So they would spend time drawing, including the one they drew for you, to make money, to put money in their pocket. Please bring it if it is near here. And I'm urging our people, pick a leaf from what these young people have done. Many of you think PDM is for drinking, PDM is for marrying, PDM is for this. PDM is for generating household income. So please, Your Excellency, these are the young people who have hearkened to your call. This one was drawn from Patongo here. I don't think it could have been drawn from anywhere else better than this. The district commissioner informs me these are people with an account, people who are doing a lot of other things using their skills, evidence that PDM works if people understand and put it in practice. Thank you, Ladid. Thank you so much. We will speak to you when we come about mechanization. I'll bring to you a mechanization team that did piloting here. They plowed 1,000 acres just to prove that it works with households, not used tracts of land. I also want to thank Nakori. Your Excellency, I saw your letter. I saw the letter you wrote emphasizing that the promotion of coffee in northern Uganda must be through Nakori. There could not have been any better choice. I've worked with Nakori people. I want to thank them. Very committed civil servants. But as I said, I think Nakori and other very useful Ugandans need to be deployed in a different dispensation, away from the traditional civil service. You need some radical mode of intervention where we tap into that expertise, into that passion for the promotion of coffee. We will speak about it when we come. Finally, allow me to convey to you the appreciation of retired Bishop McLeod Beck Ochola. He had wanted to personally come to you. Time does not permit. When he was down and we feared for the worst, you picked him, you took him to United Kingdom, met his medical bill, and met his cost of living with his entourage in the United Kingdom until he was treated and he came back. He's very grateful. He's here in the tent. We want to thank you, Ladit, because Bishop Ochola is a game to us. Bishop Uchola is the typical actually elder, the one whom you don't want to lose, the one who can come and put sense in you as a young person without any fear. He doesn't seek favors. He tells you as it is. So we are grateful to you. Wapoyo konyo kwa pa Bishop Uchola la ditwa mawa keno tutwana. Wapoyo mi ulim buwa kichwala en ulaya wakumbeli woro logo mabe uno batike woro nila chwe jongu en. Wapoyo tutwala. Your Excellency, Agoro irrigation project. We have talked with you about Agoro irrigation project. I've followed it up. There are actually 2 sites, Agoro itself, and then up in the plateau, Lumwaka, Lututuru, beautiful areas, which if you put water reservoir, the technical team has done the work. Again, we'll seek to come and meet you about Agoro. Technical team from Ministry of Water and the private sector have done this work. Agoro the potential is so huge, you can create a water reservoir, a dam, which would take 4 years to fill. And the volume of land that you can irrigate for that is unimaginable. I want to thank you for taking interest. You're the one who sent me to Agoro for that one. Yeah. So, I thought I should summarize and speak about this. Otherwise, Apoyo Bino. We wish you could sleep here, and we have our 1-0. That is the evening outdoor fire meeting. But maybe you should come back another time when we can speak about these things. On behalf of our people, Wapoyo, Wapoyo, Wapoyo. I now invite you to speak to your people. Thank you.
His Lordship,
Mao,
somebody should translate for me.
Honorable Mao.
His Lordship.
Your Luo is second only to me, so please translate.
His Lordship, the Chief Justice,